Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmed Nawaz with the latest roundup of sports today. Let's take a look at what we're discussing. First of all, the ICC Women's T20 World Cup came to a spectacular close. The White Ferns have been crowned champions for the very first time. It has been a fairy tale run for most of them, and there were spectacular scenes there at the stadium as well. Very much, I think, on a disappointing note for South Africans as well. They played wonderful cricket. They knocked out six-time champions Australia, who were dominating the T20 World Cup for the past 3 editions consecutively. I think they had everything to win, but unfortunately, when it mattered the most, they just fell many runs short. But credit to the White Ferns, especially Amelia Kerr. She has been an absolute superb find for the world of cricket, not just for New Zealand. And if you look at the story itself as well, it's been a spectacular one. But especially for Sophie Devine and Susie Bates, it has been something that they have waited twice very close to the World Cup, not winning it. And I think they were just destined to win it this time as well. So congratulations to New Zealand. Then we talk about England's tour to Pakistan. The third test match is all set to begin at the Pindi Cricket Stadium. Pakistan team held their practice session at the stadium as well. It's all now on the pitch, what the pitch is going to behave like. A lot of pictures have been circulating on social media of heaters, makeshift heaters, and also fans as well that would look towards drying the pitch as much as they can. But I think regardless of that, how the pitch behaves is going to be very important. I think the center of balance right now is with the Pakistan team, courtesy of their victory in the second test match because of Numan Sajid and Kamran Ghulam. But let's see how things go on, and do they play one more fast bowler or not? That decision will be taken later on. Then we talk about the Emerging Asia Cup 2024, where Pakistan have beaten their opponents by 74 runs. The match has finally come to a conclusion, and it was a much needed victory for Pakistan as well, so we'll talk about that. Then we talk about India versus New Zealand. New Zealand beating India at home by 8 wickets. They registered a historic victory over India. The solid partnership between Rachin Ravindra and Will Young. The second test match now takes place on the 24th onwards, and India's been very disappointing in the first innings, but from that onwards to 400 runs was a remarkable recovery themselves as well. And then we of course talk about Sarfaraz Khan, who has had to wait for 10 years for his debut cap as well. We talk in detail about that as well. And then of course we tell you about the 6th Asian Taekwondo Championship as well, where Pakistan have secured the first spot. They have been brilliant collectively. 21 nations were participating, but Pakistan has stood out on top. There have been multiple medals for Pakistan, 275 athletes participating from all of these countries. And of course, head coach Yusuf Karami also receiving the best coach award as well. Shahzeb Khan was honored with the best athlete award. We talk about that as well. Time now to introduce our guests. First of all, joining us in our studios is cricket commentator, international broadcaster, presenter, and our sports expert, Kiasif Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum Assalam, Ahmed. I'm perfect and so happy that Awais is sitting with me.
Well, we're going to Awais in just a bit. Thank you for joining us. We've also been joined by first-class cricketer and cricket expert Kashim Majid. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, sir?
Thank you very much, Ahmed. And the second part of the answer is thank you, Awais, for sitting with us.
And we've also been joined by the man himself, Sayyid Mohammad Awais. Assalamu alaikum, Awais. How are you?
Walaikum Assalam. I'm good. How are you? You're fine.
I'm very well.
It's a precious situation.
Absolutely it is. And of course, we've also been joined by senior sports journalist Sayyid Haider as well. Assalamu alaikum, sir. How are you? Welcome to Sports Extra.
Walaikum Assalam, Ahmed. I'm very fine. Thank you very much. And it's very nice to sit with the young guns in the studio. I'm seeing energetic persons today in the studio.
The energy is sky high this time, considering that Awais is in studios. But we've got a lot, I think we're looking forward to not just Awais, but a lot of candid discussions on the show today as well. But that being said, let's take a look at the report of the White Ferns' journey to victory in the T20 World Cup.
The New Zealand cricket team claimed their ICC Women's T20 World Cup 2024 trophy by defeating South Africa at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium. This marks the Kiwis' first T20 World Cup title, having previously lost in the finals in 2009 and 2010. The Black Caps broke their title rout by winning against the Proteas by 32 runs. The South Africa team, led by Laura Woolwood, had reached the final after losing to Australia in the previous tournament. South Africa seemed on track to win the 2024 tournament as they started their chase of 159 runs at 51 runs without losing a wicket. But things quickly turned for the Proteas as they lost wickets in rapid succession, starting with Tasmin Britt's dismissal leading to a collapse among the rest of the batters. Britt's was followed by captain Laura Woolwood, who scored 33 runs of 27 balls. The Kiwi bowlers excelled in the second innings and with only two openers managing to score double figures. South Africa ended their innings at 126 runs for the loss of 9 wickets. The Black Caps lost 5 wickets during their innings. Bates scored 32 runs of 31 balls, while Kerr was the top scorer with 43 of 38. Halliday added 38 of 28, helping New Zealand reach a total of 158 runs, a score that proved sufficient for the T20 World Cup victory.
There you have it. Malika gives us the details of White Ferns' victory as champions of T20 cricket. We go towards a short break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and now of course we discuss things in detail. Of course, we first of all talk about New Zealand's campaign, who have been absolutely terrific. Asif, what would you like to highlight?
Simply, first of all, congratulations to the New Zealand women team. Since 2009, 2010, they've been struggling. They're trying to get this victory. Let's talk about this team led by Sophie Devine, the way they came up, and they were pretty much prepared for the final. And 158, when we talk about the Dubai Stadium, I think that everyone was looking at it's a good total. And do remember one thing, that South Africa, they were definitely looking towards their skipper. And she played well. Laura, it was an outstanding innings. But of course that, they required a couple of partnerships. But the way Amelia Kerr bowled and Leah Tohuhu, she was so nice with the ball. I must say that the variation of the bowlers of the New Zealanders, it's been absolutely amazing. So that was a fantastic victory for the New Zealand, because when we talk about that, New Zealand, they haven't won any T20 World Cup for the first time in the history. They uplift the trophy, and credit goes to their all team. They enjoyed a lot. They played brilliant cricket. Hats off.
Absolutely. We've got a couple of videos to share with you as well, courtesy of ICC. As my team gets them ready, we'll be sharing that journey as well. One is a complete journey. Then Amelia Kerr's talk to the media as well, because what she mentioned is that when she was in school as well, she penned a creative writing note where she mentioned she wants to win the World Cup. But let's take a look at a couple of these videos and then we continue.
I was inspired to be a White Fern watching that 2010 World Cup, which Sophie was at, and from that moment I was at the nets with my dad pretending I was batting with Sophie and Susie. And when I was at primary school in creative writing, I wrote about winning a World Cup with Sophie and Susie. And so to be here now having done that, I think that's probably why I was so emotional out on the field in the moment. And I don't necessarily believe you deserve things in sport, but if any two people do, it's Sophie and Susie. And to be here now and to do it with two of New Zealand's best ever, yeah, it's something that's so special.
Tay's still around the group, which is great. It's lovely to have her smiling face here, and she's just an amazing character, and obviously Meji is such an important leader in our group, and is still contributing just as much. So Tay's still around the group, which is great. It's lovely to have her smiling face here, and she's just an amazing character, and obviously Meji is such an important leader in our group, and is still contributing just as much. So Tay's still around the group, which is great. It's lovely to have her smiling face here, and she's just an amazing character, and obviously Meji is such an important leader in our group, and is still contributing just as much. So Tay's still around the group, which is great. It's lovely to have her smiling face here, and she's just an amazing character, and obviously Meji is such an important.
Well, my apologies to all my viewers. I don't know what just happened, but of course we saw the Amelia Kerr video which we were talking about, but I don't know why we're moving to the Aussies who got knocked out in the semi-finals and on loop as well. But we'll try to get these technical things sorted. But Kashif, it's been a remarkable journey, especially for somebody as young as Amelia Kerr, to talk about that journey where, writing a note in school where she wants to win a World Cup one day with the White Ferns, to ending up playing with her heroes Sophie Devine and Susie Bates as well. I mean, what a remarkable journey of camaraderie, and the fact that New Zealand cricket has stuck with the senior and that upcoming talent as well, with a combination to win a World Cup.
Emilia Kerr is saying that if two people deserve something, that is Susie and Sophie Devine. Susie Bates and Sophie Devine, and that is entirely true, because when we talk about certain names who've been in the women cricket for at least 15 to 20 years, these two have been playing and representing the White Ferns for quite a long time, and with honor. It's always been they've been always there with the honor they have got to play to represent the White Ferns, the New Zealand side. Second important thing when we talk about their journey, it's you rightly said, it's a combination of the veteran cricketers as well as the new emerging cricketers. And Emilia Kerr, when we talk about her, she's not a new name, but she's been performing exceptionally well, and this victory belongs to her, because coming in the finals, playing the first final, and to be part of that entire group, and playing that extraordinary innings with the bat and then with the ball, it's always something to cherish throughout your life. And I going through all those emotions of Emilia Kerr, Ahmed, you've been there, Asif, and so does Awais. In our free periods, when a teacher asked us to write something, just to go through this 40 minutes of period, and we were the ones who always write about something of a cricket match, maybe a cricket match played in the past, maybe something of our vision to play and represent Pakistan. So this is, dreams do come true, and for Emilia Kerr, it's always one of those biggest moment of his life, biggest moment of her entire journey of cricket.
And I think it's going to define her moving forward as a cricketer as well, because these are probably stepping stones for a player like Emilia Kerr, and this journey will inspire so many other cricketers as well. Awais, it's just been fantastic for New Zealand cricket at the moment.
One thing what I loved about New Zealand cricket is that, if you remember, Ahmed, that before the World Cup they played around 13 matches and they just won one match. I mean, they weren't favourites to win the World Cup, and looking at the group stage, because they were in the group of death, and obviously the favourites were Australia and India to win the World Cup, and definitely the way they came back in the second match, it was a tough match for them. The first match was brilliantly played by where they outclassed India, but the second match was literally tough for them. But the way they have performed, specifically Sophie Devine as a captain leading from the front, because whenever the camera was there, she was the one everyone was talking about, what she means to the New Zealand dugout, the way she has led the New Zealand dugout. But one thing what I missed yesterday was the haka dance, what they do. I mean, because New Zealanders are famous for that, but it's a brilliant story, I would say, what New Zealand have done over here, having fabulous wins. This is for New Zealand, and especially one thing what I loved was that you had a new champion over here, because South Africa and New Zealand were both teams which were fighting for finals. I literally feel something sad for Wolfart, I mean, because she literally deserved to win it, because if you remember previously when they lost the finals, and this was the right moment for them, because South Africa literally played a brilliant cricket throughout this tournament, and they were ones to, but unfortunately the bowling did not work for them, and even the drop catches, I mean, that did make some differences for South Africa. But it's a congratulations to New Zealand, and I guess the men's team for New Zealand, you would see a new champion.
But South Africa was so close, both men and women's cricket. I mean, ever so close once again. So that journey, that historical landmark continues. But Sir Heather, the structure of New Zealand cricket, the system itself, the self-belief, what they are as a nation has truly transcended in that evening in Dubai where they've been crowned champions.
Absolutely. This is the result. What if you work hard and you have an aim that what you have to get it, then you will get it. I can remember in 2009 when Pakistan won the T20 World Cup in England, and before the men's final, women's final was there, and New Zealand team was in the final, and I met some words with the coach of the New Zealand team, and he told me that once a day we will win it, definitely. Today we cannot win. We have not won today, but and once a day we will win. That is the way how you can get your wish result if you are working hard. New Zealand very compact, composed, and very good to their target. They have showed in all the tournament, whole the tournament. They have showed their efforts that they have won against India. It's not a little thing. I think at that time when they have beaten India, then I could say that they were on the way to win the World Cup, and definitely they have got it after a long journey. And last night we have seen also a very good performance, but unfortunately South Africa, they were doing also well. And this is the second time, as you have said right now, that the men's, they have also lost the match in the final, and the women's also. But definitely, it's a good work from the women's, and I congratulate to New Zealand Cricket Board and the players. They have won the T20 World Cup final.
Certainly, they deserve all the applause there is, and it's their time to celebrate, isn't it? But that being said, we come to Pakistan's campaign against England at home. Let's take a look at this report.
The highly anticipated third test between Pakistan and England is set to take place in Rawalpindi from October 24th to 28th. This decision aims to provide a home advantage for Pakistan. Aqib has instructed the ground staff at Rawalpindi Cricket Stadium to maintain a dry pitch across the entire square. The selector's primary goal is to create a pitch that diverges from the typical conditions in Rawalpindi, allowing spinners to have a similar experience to what they encounter on the Multan pitch. To ensure everything is in order, the former player is expected to visit the stadium ahead of the test. The series is currently tied at 1-1 following Pakistan's victory over England.
There you have it. Malaika gives us the details. Now moving on to the third test match, which becomes very important. So, okay, Asif, first of all, the pitch itself. We've been seeing some crazy pictures coming from Pindi. What's happening there?
Well, of course, that these pictures aren't good for English cricket team. They aren't enjoying. We're enjoying that because we won the second test match as well. Lots of criticism from Nasir Hussain and other colleagues of English commentators. But the issue is that this is Pakistan cricket team and home side. The big thing is that, you know, what happened in the Ramiz Raja's era, that he has referred all the intentions now towards the Babar Azam, that Babar Azam is the responsible for these kind of pitches because I have given him the authority. This is what Ramiz Raja said yesterday. So I was shocked because when he was the chairman, he said that I have taken the responsibility and I have taken that decision.
They were talking about drop-in, which is
yes, no, but even then, you know, that when we asked that what's happening in Rawalpindi Cricket Stadium, when that was a, you know, very straightforward pitch and everyone was
nobody
criticizing.
took responsibility. Yes.
And so I think this is called hypocrisy. When you were the chairman and you didn't take the action. Now you're talking about and you're putting all the responsibility on Babar Azam. First, the second, I think that we'll go with the winning combination. The four guys who played stunning cricket, talk about their first-class career whatsoever. I think this is the best time that we could beat English team in our home series. We lost in the last series 3-0, but this is the best time to give them a tough time and get the victory.
Absolutely. Kashif, what would you believe the Pindi pitch can behave like? Because obviously we can't expect it to be as similar to what we saw in Multan.
Pretty similar. They're trying actually. The whole of the ground staff and the curator are trying to emulate that Multan wicket, but it's just not easy because there's always been differences in the soil of the wickets and the atmospheric changes and the conditions. Rawalpindi is entirely different than the Multan's weather. So most probably they can come up with the closest wicket to the Multan, but not you know, just a ditto copy of Multan. Second important thing, after I guess 5, 10, 7, how many years, I'm not even can count, we came to a conclusion that we are good against spinners. We can play our spinners on those surfaces and our batters can bat against spinners. So at least we have got our ideology right when it comes to the test cricket. Previously, we aren't sure that how to go about our business in the test cricket. We think that creating those batting tracks and then asking our pacers and the fast bowlers to do the business, it's just not happening. It couldn't happen against Australia, against England and all those teams of playing against. Even against Bangladesh, we started thinking, we were here sitting talking about the Rawalpindi wicket, that's a green top wicket and we will create havoc against Bangladesh. It couldn't turn out to be. So at least now we got one a basic right, that is ideology of our test cricket, that we can bat against spin and we can come up with any spinning track against any
Absolutely.
team.
I think the bigger question has been answered, that we have spinners or not. That was the bigger question over here. So Avais, I think that has finally been answered now.
See, the performance by the spin bowling department, that's the biggest answer for anyone who says that we don't have a spin bowling options in Pakistan domestic. The issue is that when you leave your T20 format and focus on the domestic cricket, then you can find new talents over there, that we don't do it. I mean, if we just remember, Ahmed bhai, Kashif bhai, Asif bhai, even you, many of us do visit grounds in Islamabad where you have domestic season going on. If I'm not mistaken, I'm the one, I can tell that I've never ever seen a selector sitting over there watching that match, a 4-day match over there, to watch which player is playing brilliantly who can be a part of the Pakistan red ball team. It does not happen that. The biggest issue, what I feel in the Pakistan structure, even in the cricket, even in any sports it is, the head coach sitting up, he needs a clear information from down, passing on to him who's the guy who's performing well in the domestic structure. He does not get that clear message up there. That's the biggest point where I see the Pakistan Cricket Board really needs to watch out. But at the pitch, if I talk about Pindi wicket, I mean, whatever you do, I know they are trying the level best. Obviously, when you're playing at your home conditions, you go for your benefit. It will be a dry wicket. You're trying your level best to have that. Again, that spin bowling magic. But remember, it's a Pindi wicket. It will take at least 3 days to get that back, that what you want. The Multan wicket, what it was doing on, because this is a different temperature over here.
So you need more fans and more heaters then,
no,
I
it's
guess.
not about heaters. See, Ahmed bhai, I'll tell you one thing. The biggest issue still I feel is not your bowling department. It's your batting order. Your opening department, specifically your middle order, your Shan Masood really needs to perform. If you want to win this test match, that means your openers and your middle order need to perform. You just can't rely on Kamran Ghulam that he would
Of
perform.
course, we're short on time as well, and this Pindi saga is going to continue whatever Pakistan makes. But there's been an interesting story in the world of cricket, and that is why Sarfaraz Khan from India had to wait 10 years to win his test cap. Let's take a look at this report and then we continue.
Sarfaraz Khan played an exceptional innings of 150 runs in the second innings against New Zealand in Bangalore, making a strong comeback after scoring 0 in the first innings. He became the 22nd player in international cricket to score a century in the second innings after being dismissed for a duck in the first. His partnerships with Virat Kohli and Rishabh Pant briefly brought India back into the game. Sarfaraz was given a spot in the test match against England by scoring half centuries in both innings of his debut test. Sarfaraz Khan became the 4th Indian batter to achieve this feat in his first test match. Sarfaraz cemented his place in the team by scoring 200 runs in 3 test matches against England, but he was not given an opportunity in the series against Bangladesh. When the team for the first test against New Zealand was announced, Sarfaraz's name was initially not included. However, it is believed that on Rohit Sharma's recommendation, he was eventually added to the squad.
And there you have it, all you need to know about Sarfaraz Khan and his delay in that test debut in this report by Sabah. Sir Haider, you wrote on this as well. What has transcended in what we see now as Sarfaraz Khan?
Sarfaraz Khan is such type of player who can bat at anywhere. Like Sanjay Majrikar said that I can see in him Javed Miandad's era. So Sarfaraz Khan, why he hasn't got the chances before? After him, Shubman Gill entered in the test cricket in India. Priti Shah entered in test cricket. Jaswal entered in cricket. And Sarfaraz, he was struggling before them, but Sarfaraz hasn't got any chance. Because it's a very typical society in India. There you have to survive. You have to struggle too much to get the test place. If you are belonging some special group or some special areas, you cannot get the space. As I've written that he was first trying from Mumbai, then he has gone to UP again. Then he came back again to Mumbai. He knows that without Mumbai he cannot get a place. So in India, it's also same story what we are seeing in Pakistan, Lahore and Karachi. In India, also Mumbai and Delhi. And this is the war between Mumbai and Delhi. And a lot of players like Sarfaraz Khan, really they have been missed. They haven't got the space in the test cricket. Even they deserve test cricket. And Sarfaraz Khan. But I hope now Sarfaraz Khan, he is showing his talent. He is a very good batsman. He has all the shots. The batsman who has got all the shots, he will be successful on any surface, any track. And Sarfaraz Khan, he is only something with his fitness, but I believe that he will be a superstar of the Indian team.
Absolutely, and I think he already is. But Kashif, very quickly, you just want to add something very quickly.
So from Pakistan to India, the batter is carried out. Sarfaraz dhoka nahi dega.
So that being said, I think thank you very much to the gentlemen joining us in studios, K. Asif, Awais. Of course, Kashif Majid, and also to Sir Haider as well for joining us. Before we go, we've got to share a report with you of New Zealand's remarkable historic victory against India at India's home in the first test match at Bangalore. You take a look at that from me and the entire team. It's goodbye for now.
New Zealand sealed their first Test win in India since 1988 after chasing down a tricky target in hostile conditions to overcome the host by 8 wickets on the final day of the first Test. After dismissing India for their lowest home total of 46 runs and making 402 runs in reply, New Zealand bowled out Rohit Sharma's side for 462 runs in the second innings to lay the platform for a 1-0 lead in the 3-match series. Will Young with 48 and Rachin Ravindra on 39 remained calm in the pressure after the loss of 2 early wickets to help New Zealand score the 107 needed, earning their team only a third win on Indian soil in 69 years. New Zealand became only the third team after England and Australia to beat India at home since 2013. Pace bowlers Matt Henry and William O'Rourke claimed a combined 15 wickets in the match. This series is the part of the World Test Championship.